Turning with Propeller Spins Part 3, how to put it all together into 360 turns, which can be with 2 propellers on either side. That would look like this, or the other direction, or just 1 propeller on either side, so you cross as soon as possible, just 1 propeller, and of course that also in both directions. One thing you need to know, if you put it together into 360 turns, it is always the same hand that will do the crossing part. For forwards crossing we had the hand that did the forwards grip, and for the backwards crossing the hand that did the reverse grip, who always have the crossing part. And now it's always the same hand doing the crossing forwards and then immediately the crossing backwards. So if you remember that, it might make things easier if you're thinking, oh, which hand has to do what next. It's always the same hand you need as long as you turn 360 turns in the same direction. So when you start, just do as many propellers on either side as you need. Then focus on where you want to cross, where you want to go. So I'm spinning now towards the cupboard, and I'll cross forwards towards the cupboard first. So it's the hand underneath in the forwards grip that I need first. That's this hand. And that does the crossing to this point. And then, as I said, it's the same hand. So it was my left hand here. It's now on the peace lily side. It ended up to be the hand at the top in the reverse grip. And now it's again the hand that has to do the crossing, doing to here. And I'm going to continue. Again, my left hand now at the bottom in the forwards grip, doing the crossing, landing up at the top in the reverse grip, and again doing the crossing. Switching directions, and now I'm spinning towards the peace lily. Same thing for the other side. So I'm starting here now with this hand at the bottom in the forwards grip, crossing first towards the peace lily. I'm here. It's now my right hand that always does the crossing. That's now on top in the reverse grip, crossing backwards to here. Now it's again at the bottom in the forwards grip, crossing here. Now it's at the top in the reverse grip, crossing here, and so forth. Doing it, turning in the other direction, starting again, spinning towards the cupboard. So now it's my right hand starting, and my right hand that will always do the crossing. I'm starting with the backwards crossing now. So here, now my right hand is at the bottom in the forwards grip, crossing here, crossing on top, crossing forwards, crossing backwards, crossing forwards, crossing backwards, crossing forwards. Again, that for the other direction. I'm spinning towards peace lily. It's my left hand that will start with the crossing for backwards to here. Now my left hand is at the bottom, ready for the forwards crossing, at the top for the backwards crossing, at the bottom for the forwards crossing, and so forth. So once you start, focused on always the same hand doing the crossing, and I think that you should be able to do the turn continuously. Show it from the side, maybe for a better angle what the hands are doing, starting spinning towards the camera and then crossing forwards towards the camera, It's this hand that starts with crossing in the forwards grip. Here, and backwards, and forwards, and backwards, and forwards. And now the other direction. That's my right hand always doing the crossing backwards, forwards, and backwards, and forwards. Spinning backwards towards the camera, forwards towards the blue blanket. Same thing until you get every angle. Start crossing backwards towards the camera. Now this hand, it's on top and then reverse grip, and I can do this cleaner. So here, always my left hand doing the crossing forwards to the blue blanket, crossing backwards to the camera, crossing forwards to the blanket, crossing backwards towards the camera, and the other direction. Now it's always my right hand here doing the crossing backwards towards the camera, crossing forwards towards the blue blanket, crossing backwards, crossing forwards, crossing backwards, crossing forwards. For the rhythm, how you can reduce it, I said you can do 2 propels on either side, which I find quite nice to have the impression of really propellers, but don't interrupt the turning for too long. But you can also reduce it to 1 propeller either side, and that looks like this. And for this, the hand that does the crossing, well, does nothing else but crossing. Immediately when it gets hold of the whip, it crosses immediately and does not do any other propeller in between. On the other hand, just grabs once on either side, and then the whip is gone already on the other side after it's crossed. Again, spinning towards the, come on. There you go, towards the pistol. Cross, 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 cross. So what's happening? Spinning here, I'm starting crossing forwards, and it's always my left hand doing the crossing. So I'm starting here, crossing, the other hand cuts under, touches once, for it's part of the propeller. My left hand catches the whip in the reverse grip and immediately crosses to here. I have to have my hand in between. Come on. Crossing. Come on. Crossing to here. The other hand, my right hand catches once. And as soon as my left hand gets hold of the whip, crosses again forwards. So it's cross backwards, cross forwards, cross backwards, cross forwards. Starting in the other direction. Then it's always my right hand doing the crossing, starting and crossing backwards. So backwards. This hand just touches the whip once. This hand gets hold of the whip, immediately crosses. The other hand touches once, and the other immediately crosses. Showing it once again towards the camera. So it's cross, touch, 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 cross, touch. Other way around, same thing. Cross, touch, cross, touch, cross, touch, cross, touch, cross, touch. other direction, but you can see it from spinning backwards, crossing. So you see now my right hand does nothing but pulling the whip over to the other side, and my left hand just touches once in between. Same for the other direction. There you go. Crossing, the other hand touches, crossing, the other hand touches. That's it. You'll figure it out and have fun.